It says, first question for today's Hangout. I'd like to talk about something that was mentioned on the first Hump Day Hangout, which is using 301 redirects to protect money sites, or even as a buffer when you're doing client work. Bitly and tinyURL were mentioned, but they wouldn't be the best option since you can't change the link. Another option that Bradley says is that he's more often to buy an expired domain, do all the SEO work on that domain, then do a 301 redirect from there to the client's website. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so then the next one is, and if I understand correctly, there's a third option where you could do a meta refresh from a Weebly site. Does that mean that you would 301 redirect from the domain you brought to Weebly, and then from Weebly to your client site?
Okay, I'm looking at the question now too because that is a bit involved. So I'm looking at the event page. All right, so to answer your question, yeah, okay, what I suggested to do, and I'm going to talk about this conceptually. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of this because that's reserved for Mastermind members. I don't give away information like this publicly because that is reserved for Mastermind members. But on a conceptual level, yes, I can confirm, Braulio, that that is exactly what I do. Is when I'm doing SEO work for clients, okay, which I don't recommend. You guys all know that. You should be building your own assets instead of your clients. But if you do have clients, or you are planning on taking on clients, then I suggest that what you do is you make a mirror site of their site on your own domain and do all of your backlink building to your own domain. And you 301 redirect the pages from your own domain that are mirrored from your client's domain over to your client. That way, in case the client decides to stop paying you, you remove the 301 redirects and you get to keep all the SEO work that you did on your own site. Does that make sense? So that's what I recommend doing. Now, as far as the type of 301 redirects, would I use tinyURL or Bitly? No. I'll use those for cleaning. And in fact, I don't recommend using Bitly at all for any sort of redirect stuff other than pure spam. Okay, because Bitly will, occasionally Bitly will determine one of their links is spam, and it's random how they do it. And I don't mean, like, sometimes it'll be a perfectly legit Bitly redirect link, and Bitly will put a spam tag on it, and a spam tag makes it a 302 before it's a 301. And again, we're talking about technical SEO, guys. I know a lot of you on here, this might be over your head, so we're going to move past this in just a minute. If you want to learn more about this stuff, join the mastermind. Okay, but a 302 that redirects to a 301, it removes all the link juice. It's a pointless redirect at that point. It's a navigational redirect only. It's not. There has no SEO value in a 302 redirect. If that makes sense? So I don't recommend using Bitly. tinyURL you can use, but again, you have no control over it once it's created. So what I do is I buy domains. They don't have to be expired. They can be brand new registered domains for the method that I was just talking about, where I mirror a client site with my own domain first, do all my link building to my own domain, and it's redirected to theirs. Okay, that way it's like Terry Kyle. He's another SEO guy that I highly recommend following him as well. He's got what's called Switchbox SEO. That's that's the term that he coined. It's called Switchbox SEO, and it's very similar to that because you control that switch. You can point your link juice that you've built to your own domain anywhere you want. Okay. And that's how I recommend doing it because that way, once again, you keep control of that, of all the work that you've done. Why shouldn't you? You did the work. You know what I mean? As long as they're paying you, you're going to point it at their site anyways, right? Okay, so the third option would be to do a meta refresh from a Weebly site. Yes, that can be done. Again, I'm not going to give that away here. Would I do a 301 redirect from the domain I bought to Weebly and then from Weebly to your client site? Depends on what you're doing. If you're cleaning dirty link juice, then yeah. And again, this is way advanced for this setting. So I'm not going to get into this too much, but there's a lot of really ninja things that you can do with redirects and cleaning dirty. You could do all kinds of stuff. You could take expired or not expired, de-indexed domains that have a ton of link juice. A lot of them are going to be Chinese spam domains, and you can redirect those. And through 301 redirects, you can clean the link juice and just provide massive ranking power to whatever properties you're trying to rank. But you have to do it properly because if you don't, you'll tank your site. And again, we talk about that. In fact, the last two mastermind members that mastermind webinars that we did, we went over that extensively. So that's available inside the mastermind. But again, some of that stuff I can't talk about publicly because we don't want to let the cat out of the bag. So,
and we also don't want people working it out the wrong way and tanking their sites.
That's right. Because unless you have extensive training on how to do it, you will blow your site up. You know what I mean? And I can't recommend that. I can't I can't encourage you to do this unless you know what you're doing, because you can get yourself into trouble. So I think I answered that part of it, Zane.
Yeah. Okay. So, did you see the second half of the question? Was that one?
Okay, he says if a client already has a YouTube channel and asks you to rank both his existing videos and all the new ones you create, how do you create a buffer to protect your work? This is a great question, Braulio. It's a great question. Well, you know, that's the thing. Okay, when I'm dealing with new clients, I don't even give them the option. Like if I'm doing, like I tell them, even if you have your own channel, I tell them I'm going to download your videos and upload them onto my channel. Again, I want control, not them. Okay, I'll do what I said I'm going to do for them, but I want it on my channel. All right. So if a client asks me specifically that they want their the videos ranked on their channel, then that's fine. I'll do it, but I charge them a premium for it, because I tell them, look, if you want to work with me, it's going to go on my channel, because my channel is an authority channel that I've built up. I've got my syndication networks tied to my channel. I've been building links to those syndication networks, so I've increased the page authority, the trust, all of that. All the metrics are all stronger on my own networks, right? So if I've got to start over on your channel, I'm going to charge you for the network builds. I'm going to charge you for additional link building. I'm going to charge you for the additional time it takes to set up. So I charge a much, much higher premium. In fact, what I do with clients when they want me to rank their videos on their channel is I set the price so high that they don't even want to do it on their channel. They say, okay, we'll just go with the first option you gave us. And the reason, once again, is I want that control. And also, I want my job to be easier. You know, I don't want to have to repeat the process that I've already done. Again, I talk about building your own assets. Well, once you've built an asset that can produce results for you very easily, with less work, with very little work, right, additional work, then why not force your potential clients or your customers onto your own network, where it's going to make your job easier anyways. However, again, if they want to do that, if they insist, let's put it that way, then fine, charge them a premium. As far as, let's see, if you had to create a buffer to protect your work, you could do the same thing with 301 redirects, though, that we just talked about. Like if you were to go out and buy your own domains and then do 301 redirects to the YouTube videos, and then you just build all your links to your domain, your redirect domain, then essentially you could do the same thing. Is you could turn that off if they decide that they wanted to stop paying you, so that you just remove all the link juice. However, with YouTube videos, a lot of the times, you know, once they rank and they start to get natural engagement from just being ranked, then they'll end up staying there, even if you remove a lot of the link juice. Okay, the hardest thing is to get them there. Once they're there, the natural engagement just from being ranked and getting activity on them will help to keep them ranked. Does that make sense? Okay.
Awesome. Great explanation. So,
I'm sorry, Zane. The last part of the question, I am looking at it, so I was just going to answer that.
Yeah, go for it.
Since I know Bradley mentioned on this video somewhere, I've lost count of how many I've seen so far between the IFTTT training and the Hangouts. I believe it was one of the advanced strategy webinars, so I'm not sure if we can talk about the Ninja SEO stuff here. Oh, okay. Well, I just answered that. Yeah, I gave you guys a little bit of a tidbit, but you know, if you want to get into depth on how to do all that kind of stuff, again, I have to reserve that for mastermind members. So.
Okay. Now, Braulio actually just threw in a follow-up question here in the chat, since he's in the group here.
Okay.
And what if the client is afraid of losing the investment they made with someone else who created the video, because you would be quote unquote owning it or taking away a video that they paid for?
Well, no, you're not taking it away. You're just telling them that you're also uploading it to your channel. So it's not like you're saying, I'm taking the video off of your channel and putting it on mine, and I'm going to be in control of your video. No, it's not that. You're just saying, look, you can do whatever you want with your video. You say this to the client. You know, if you've got it on your website, you've got it on your own channel, that's fine. I'm not going to touch that. All I'm going to do is copy that video, download it, and upload it also, in addition to where it's already on your channel, onto my channel. And I'm going to perform the SEO, because my network, and here's how you sell it, my network is built such that it will rank your video. Your network is not. If you want me to rank it on your network or on your channel, then that's fine, but I'm going to have to build you a network, and it's going to cost this much additional money, because it's going to take me this much additional time and additional work. You see what I'm saying? So, again, I suggest that if somebody is worried about that, you need to calm their fears by saying, I am not going to take your video away from you. I'm just going to duplicate it and put it on my own channel. So you'll have it in both places anyways. And if they decide that they want to stop paying you again, like, you know, if they say, okay, well, I don't want to pay Braulio anymore, then Braulio, all you do is just turn their video to unlisted. Here's why you don't delete the video. Because if you delete the video, all the link juice that you built to that video by syndicating across your networks disappears, right? Thin air, it's gone. So instead, you keep the video on your channel, you just keep it to unlisted. Because then it's still a live video, but it's not going to rank in the search engines anymore. But still, all that link juice is still funneling in through that video back to your channel, which adds to the authority of the rest of your channel. Does that make sense?
I am so glad you said that, because so many people just assume that you should delete it.
No, because then you just pissed all that work away.
Yeah, and not only that, you can use that same unlisted video as ways to show future clients, right? Another prospective client say, hey, this is what I did for somebody else. You can see the view count here, and you can decide how much detail you want to go into it,
right.
But you can still leverage it beyond the work that you put into it. So that
and something that's interesting that I've experienced before when I've done that, when a client decided that what I was doing wasn't valuable to them anymore, and then I've unlisted their video, and in seconds it disappears out of the search results, right? And then a couple weeks, couple days, whatever goes by, and I get a phone call from that client. Oh, you know what? We've reconsidered. We haven't gotten as many phone calls as we usually do. We're sorry. Can you turn it? Can you put it back? Well, if I had deleted it, then I'd have to start all over. But with it being unlisted, all I got to do is reset it back to public, and it usually, boom, comes right back to where it was. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's very powerful.
Makes you look super pro, too. All right, awesome. Braulio says, yes, got it. So he will have 2 of the exact video, but on different channels.
Yep, won't be a problem. It's on a different channel, so it won't be duplicate.
Awesome.